Check, check, 1, 2. 1, 2.
I didn't know that. That's good to know. I don't need a cough button. I just need to flip this. Now you can. Here we go. All right. I'm style fiber out cables. Mabika.
Lancaster, Mass.
Oh man, I just got a whiff of that humidity. That felt wonderful.
Let's do it.
Need me to close the window?
It should be okay.
All right.
All right, fire away. We'll see if I can do this one shot. Otherwise, we'll do it live. Well, after a week away, Birmingham Legion and their new man in charge are ready to get back to action tonight. With a familiar face coming back to town, Cano Smith and the reigning Eastern Conference champions, Rhode Island FC. Can the Legion secure 3 points at home? The home debut of their brand new manager. We'll find out. USL Championship Soccer on CBS Sports Galazzo is next. That's good enough.
Good enough. Good enough. It's like you've had like 500 games before. Is it Mickelhatton or Mackelhatton?
Mackelhatton. Or you got to say it in his Aussie voice. Mackelhatton.
Well, after a week away, Birmingham Legion and their new man in charge are ready. Galazzo is next.
Golazo. All right, now I can open this bad boy. Furco. I know you said Best Western is sponsoring all that stuff. Is there any particular time you want to work that billboard specifically in? Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So when we come back for lineups, I'll go straight into that, and then we'll. Okay. Easy enough. Jeez. With like live activities on iPhone now, like I've got the Cardinals game like always on my phone, and it kept buzzing while we were doing that.
Oh no!
In part because it's 9-7 Cardinals over the Phillies.
Jeez,
right now, in the 5th. Just an offensive explosion.
Did you see the WTF stat today about the Boston pitcher?
No.
There's
Well, after a week away, Birmingham Legion and their new man in charge are ready to get back to action tonight. With a familiar face coming back to town, Cano Smith and the reigning Eastern Conference champions, Rhode Island FC. Can the Legion secure 3 points at home? The home debut of their brand new manager. We'll find out. USL Championship Soccer on CBS Sports Galazzo is next.
Good evening from the Magic City, and welcome to our coverage of the USL Championship tonight on CBS Sports Galazzo, featuring Birmingham Legion FC taking on Rhode Island FC. Up here in our press box at Protective Stadium, glad to have you along for the ride tonight. Alongside Morgan Copes, I'm Blake Gardner. And Morgan, between these two teams, there is no shortage of storylines to follow tonight.
There certainly isn't. Cano Smith and Rhode Island opened their stadium last week, got a result at the weekend. Birmingham, Mark Briggs, in town for his home opener. They got a result in their last away fixture. Should be an exciting match tonight.
Both coming off results, but both need 3 points in the worst of ways at the early part of this season. For Rhode Island, when they were collecting all those points at the end of last year, it was Noah Fuson who was setting up all sorts of goal-scoring opportunities.
He really was, and he had 9 goals, 10 assists last year. He is a guy who can create for his teammates, but he can also do so for himself. So he just kind of needs to grow a little bit in confidence. He's got a guy in Albert Dico up front who can absolutely score goals. So it'll be interesting to see how early and how often they try and get Noah Fuson involved tonight.
See if he can juice this Rhode Island attack that's been goal-hungry. Meanwhile, for the Legion, Tyler Pasher's going to be on the ball plenty.
Absolutely. That's going to be what they're wanting from Legion FC and Mark Briggs. Get Pasher in between the lines, running at players. He can create for himself. Similar to Fuson, he can also score. This Maisie run right here, he gets a little bit of a hockey assist. He is Canadian. Enzo Martinez buries it late in that game. As Tyler Pasher goes and grows into a game, Legion FC become infinitely more dangerous.
We'll see if Birmingham finds the back of the net here at home tonight. When we return to the Magic City, we'll get a look at each side starting 11s plus the first 45 minutes between Birmingham Legion and Rhode Island FC right after this.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful.
Hi, this is Patayo. And this is Elsa. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. I really like the marinated chicken breast because the spice comes in at just the right moment.
Oh, no. A little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. It's highlighting the flavors in the chicken. That's what really makes me happy. Are you going to eat all your fries?
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Advance the USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Back here in the Magic City, Birmingham, Alabama. Almost time for kickoff between Rhode Island and Birmingham Legion. But first, let's get a look at each side starting 11s. And Morgan, Cano Smith making 3 changes to this Rhode Island side.
Yeah, we talked about Fuson earlier, but Maxi Rodriguez, he's a guy who can also create and score goals. He had 17 goal involvements at Detroit last year. The closer he gets to the goal, the better for Rhode Island.
Meanwhile, on the other side of things for Birmingham Legion FC, the home debut for Mark Briggs. He makes a couple of changes to the lineup that he put out against Tampa Bay last weekend.
He does, and Mikkel Hatton comes in and starts this game. I think he made a big impact when he came on as a substitute against Tampa, solidifying the defensive midfield and able to distribute and change the point of attack, which was really important.
So we'll see what this 4-2-3-1 looks like for the Legion tonight. Already mentioned both coaches briefly, but first a look at our referees. Luis Diego Arroyo, the New Jersey native, gets his 3rd USL Championship assignment of the year after he got 7 a season ago. Also has done a USL League One match this year. There's Cano Smith, the former Birmingham Legion assistant and Bermuda international, now in his 2nd year in charge of Rhode Island FC in their 2nd season of existence. On the other side, Mark Briggs, the 43-year-old, just named head coach of this Birmingham Legion FC side a few weeks ago. Made his debut in the technical area for Birmingham on the road against Tampa Bay, but this, the first time he is down on the Birmingham bench at Protective Stadium. And he's got a big smile on his face. I think he's as ready to go as anybody tonight.
Yeah, I think the fans are excited to see him have his first match at home. Be very excited to see how he comes out and the type of pressure they put on a team that's had, 5 games in the last 3 weeks. So Rhode Island have been put through the ringer and have had very difficult competition. So we'll see how Legion FC comes out tonight.
Birmingham Legion just about ready. Rhode Island likewise as they get one final huddle here. Rhode Island rocking their Energy jerseys, typically their home shirt, but they'll take it on the road here tonight. Birmingham Legion opting for their Lady Electra gold and white this evening. 77 degrees and plenty of humidity here in central Alabama. There are some passing rain showers. Hopefully they avoid Protective Stadium. And we can play this contest uninterrupted. Just about ready to go. Blake Gardner, Morgan Copes here with you. Glad to have you with us, whether you're watching locally on My 68 or across the country on CBS Sports Golazo. 2 teams desperate for points in the Eastern Conference. Rhode Island FC and Birmingham Legion starts right now. Either side thrilled with the way they've kicked off this 2025 campaign as Thomas is on the run, trying to get in behind early. Almost won the war for that. But it's ushered over the end line and out for an early Birmingham Legion corner just mere seconds in.
Yeah, Legion FC need to get off to a hot start tonight, I think. And look, this is their 3rd match against a team that is below them in the table. And Legion FC are not above the playoff line. So they've had Hartford, Tampa Bay, and now Rhode Island, all teams that are beneath them in the table. They've only got 1 point from 2 games so far. So 3 points is going to be crucial for them tonight.
Early corner kick tonight brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Kobe Hernandez Foster and Danny Trejo over both of that flag. McElhatton, Martinez's shot couldn't get all the way through a crowd. Kavita couldn't keep it down. It wouldn't have mattered. A foul and a free kick given.
It's a set piece straight off the training ground. You see Legion FC, McElhatton making a run towards the front post. Gets a little touch, diverts it into Enzo Martinez's path. It worked out perfectly. The only thing that didn't happen is it didn't go in the back of the net.
So free kick here for Coque Vegas, the Spanish goalkeeper. Get play restarted just a minute or so in. Both teams identical records tonight in the league coming in. 1 win with 3 defeats and 3 draws. 6 points from their first 7 matches. Of course, Birmingham Legion got off to a slow start and moved on from the only head coach that they had known in franchise history. Tom Sohn replaced by Mark Briggs, his 2nd game in charge. Meanwhile, Rhode Island FC, after a delightful 2024 campaign, off to a slower start here in 2025, although their inaugural campaign a season ago got off to a slow start as well. They had just 1 win from their first 14 games a year ago, then went on a mid-season summer tear. 39 points from their final 20 matches. They stormed into the Eastern Conference playoffs and rode that hot streak all the way into the USL Championship game, where they were finally dispatched by Colorado Springs.
And in talking to Coach Smith earlier this week,
as though he's happy with a lot of things, but they're just not putting the ball in the back of the net. Obviously, they've had some injuries. You know, they've had a really tough opening schedule because they've been traveling the entire first part of the year, but they finally got their first couple of home games in. So as they start to get settled into more of a groove, more of a rhythm that is normal, he expects the results to start coming, and he knows that his team has plenty of talent.
Birmingham quick to get this ball back in play after Hope Gunn couldn't keep it alive. That cross got all the way through, but rather easily collected by Vegas in the end.
Yeah, Vegas caught himself in a little bit of no man's land chasing down that ball and didn't quite get to it, so had to scramble back to his goal to make sure he was ready to defend. You need Legion FC threats, but not where you want to see your goalkeeper all the time.
Darce forced back to his goalkeeper. Vegas pretty adept with his feet. Abe Mabika, the other center back here tonight, as the pass is given away. Kobe Hernandez Foster wins it back with Sam McElhatton for the Legion. Birmingham will control with it at the back. Ramiz Hamoda, the 16-year-old pairing with Fanuel Kavita, the veteran in central defense. Matt Van Okel, at 38 years young, back in between the sticks tonight. His 8th start of the year. A guy that's still top 5 in the USL Championship in saves. Hamoda's pass doesn't quite come off as intended. Gives us a chance to look at our injury report tonight. Rhode Island, Morgan, as you mentioned, they've been on the road a bunch and they've been missing some key pieces as well. They're without J.J. Williams tonight. Marky Barra made the bench back on the weekend, but did not make the trip down to Birmingham. Of course, haven't seen Danny Rivera for Rhode Island at any point yet this year either. Meanwhile, for Birmingham, A.J. Patterson remains out with injury. Dawson McCartney, not sure how much he's going to be able to give Birmingham tonight after he picked up a knock. That was an awfully tough challenge and an immediate pull to the yellow card. Sam McElhatton booked just 4+ minutes in. That challenge, that was certainly a bit behind.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to have any arguments about that being a yellow card. It looked pretty nasty from up here in the booth, and as we get the replay here, you can see comes in a little high. It's a good thing there's no VAR because that was around the kneecaps. You know, certainly there's no malicious intent. He's trying to win the ball, but you know, an early opportunity to make a tough tackle and impose yourself on the game, and he gets there a little late, and McElhatton ends up with a yellow card. So now he has to be careful for the next 85 minutes.
Almost the entirety of the game. Adair Sanchez looks no worse for wear as that ball's played out. It'll be a throw for Rhode Island.
Yeah. That's the right idea. You want to switch the point of attack quickly, but the ball that was hit to Fuson just there was not driven. It was kind of floated in there, and so it gives the defense time to shift over and to cover that ground. If you can get that to him quicker, he can really make you pay.
Pass from Jake Roof, just a bit too heavy in the run of Tyler Pasher, but special night for Jake Roof, the Alabama native here at home. 6th season here with the Legion, officially his 100th regular season appearance for Birmingham. A guy that has featured quite a bit in the starting 11 to start 2025.
And Jake Roof is a player who actually spent a little time with the team that preceded Legion FC in the Birmingham Hammers. He was a part of that original team. He's just been a journeyman. He's kind of a utility player. He just puts his head down, he works really, really hard, and he'll do anything you ask him to do. And it's great that there's an Alabama native playing for Legion FC that has reached 100 caps.
Defending to do here for Birmingham. Dequa trying to turn, could not, was turned away by Hamoda, but it is out for the first Rhode Island corner of the night as the rain starts to fall here at Protective Stadium.
And I meant appearances, not caps. Forgive me for those of you who are sticklers about that. I do want to be correct.
So after an early corner for Birmingham, likewise now for Rhode Island. And the visitors make something of this early set piece opportunity. Ball to the back post, dealt with by Moses Mensah. And he kept it in play as well, able to clear it well away from trouble. Okay, Vegas well off his line to come collect it around the midway stripe.
You know, I would have liked to see Pasher make a little bit more of an effort there and kind of read the fact that he knows that ball is going to come up on up the touch line, and instead he stayed centrally and didn't get a chance to make an effort. Right? He's the kind of guy that if you get him 1v1, he's a handful. So any chance he can get the opportunity to get on the ball is good for him.
Pasher starts the break this time. Well done from Kobe Hernandez-Foster out to Ronaldo Thomas. Striker for the Legion this year has already found the back of the net quite a few times, but Hernandez-Foster taken off it by Joe Brito. It's the second time this year Joe Brito is in the starting 11 for Rhode Island. Charlotte native, former Charlotte 49er, I should say, back on the ball here.
He scored the opening goal in their new stadium this weekend. It was a fantastic finish. It's funny, even watching it in real speed, it looked like it was in slow motion going into that top corner. It was a fantastic finish.
Rhode Island, a couple of goals in Centerville Bank Stadium now. One from Brito, the other from Maxi Rodriguez. That heartbreaking 2-1 defeat at the hands of New England Revolution in the U.S. Open Cup. A game that was tied for much of the second half. Hamoda won it back but quickly gave it away. Fusan chips it forward. Maxi Rodriguez got there first. Rodriguez serves. Van Oekel catches.
Yeah, Hamoda has to be very careful. He's telling his teammates, look, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You know, he's a 16-year-old. He's got plenty of experience in high-intensity games, having represented the national team, but he needs to be careful with the ball in that situation, because as he gave the ball away, he was pushed up higher than his other defensive mates, and there was a gap in behind, and that's the exact space that Maxi Rodriguez had just gotten into.
Major minutes so far this year for Ramiz Hamoda, just 16 years old, will turn 17 later this month, but this is already start number 7 this year for the youngster. Legion give it away once more. Fusan rolls it along. Albert Diqua, hounded by Kavita, edge of the area, cuts it back. Late arriving, and a pretty good opportunity there for Rodriguez, but right at Matt Van Oekel, his first save of the night.
Yeah, that's the third time now that Hamoda has given the ball away, or conceded possession. First one, he tried to play a diagonal ball. He hit it behind Tyler Pasher. The second one, he gave it away, and Maxi Rodriguez got it in behind him. And then just now, he tried to play in Mensa, and the pass was not, it wasn't a good one. And you know, Rhode Island takes the ball and goes straight back at you. And the problem with that is, you know, when you miss a simple pass to your teammate and the other team's able to walk onto it, you know, they're able to come right back at you, and your teammates are not expecting you to give the ball away, so they're already out of position a little bit.
Ooh, pretty good effort from Kobe Hernandez-Foster. It was touched wide. Now for a second Chick-fil-A corner for the home side, but Kobe Hernandez-Foster not shy about taking on keepers from distance and didn't miss the frame by much there.
Yeah, he's one of few people who can actually hit a ball from distance and hit it with enough pace and power to beat a goalkeeper from that range. But Koke Vegas gets down, makes a great save. It's difficult to beat him from anywhere, especially from distance.
Danny Trejo in swinging service. Contacts just north of the penalty area, pardon me. Jake Roof went down, didn't get the whistle he was looking for as there were shouts for a penalty. See if we get another look at the contact as Roof goes clattering into the ad boards trying to keep that in play.
As it comes in with Jake Roof right at the bottom of the screen. You know, it looks like Diqua kind of has a hand on him, but I don't know if there's enough in it for him to go down. It's hard to tell from that angle, but you know, the thing about getting in the box is you have to make a referee make a decision. If you go down and he thinks there's enough, you know, he doesn't have the ability to go back.
Diqua's charging in behind Kavita, but a touch too heavy allows Matt Van Oekel to save the day. Oh, that is the last thing the Legion wanted to see, is Albert Diqua charging in on goal.
And the last thing Albert Diqua wanted to do was have a heavy touch to not get the chance to actually put that ball in the back of the net. But you know, again, that's another warning shot for Legion FC. They need to be tidier in possession, make sure they take care of the ball. That was way too easy.
A couple of early warning shots from Rhode Island. A team that would love to find the back of the net early. Just 6 goals from their first 7 games. A team that's played from behind a lot, but you could say the same for Birmingham Legion as well. Either one of these two teams, early part of this year, has played from in front a whole lot. As Moses tries to play in Danny Trejo, that's a bit too far for him. Birmingham Legion has only played 7% of minutes this year from a leading position. Only 15% so far this year for Rhode Island. There's been a lot of chasing done between these two teams, and it's tough to rack up points from losing positions time and time again.
Yeah, Legion FC started off the season as good as anybody could have ever drawn up, going up a goal on their first corner of the season, and then no more than 2 minutes later gave up a corner on the other end against Loudon, who I think are surprising everybody in this league at the moment. They are incredibly good, and Abukora is just having a fantastic season so far. It's hard to overlook him and what they've been able to do up there in Loudon.
Everyone in the Eastern Conference chasing a very fun Loudon United crew right now as Fuson supplies the interception there. Mackel hadn't tried to win it back, but now Fuson's running at this Birmingham defense. Dequa, hounded by Cavita once more, chops it back. Maxi Rodriguez doesn't miss this time.
And again, that's Hamoda giving the ball away. Fuson wins the ball easily. His team is caught out. Now they're on the counter. He breaks through, breaks a line. Dequa gets rolled in, and then he just slides a simple pass across for Maxi Rodriguez to touch it. I mean, that's the fourth time that Hamoda's given the ball away or conceded possession for Legion FC so far, and we're only 14 minutes into this game. That's not good. That's not typical of him either.
Maxi Rodriguez finds the back of the net for the first time in USL Championship play. He's a member of Rhode Island FC. He's got a goal in the US Open Cup. He's got a goal USL Jägermeister Cup, and now he's got a USL Championship goal as well in Rhode Island. Have a lead on the road, less than a quarter hour in.
Ball goes straight through Cavita's legs. That's, again, you give the ball away, you put your teammates at a disadvantage because they are not expecting you, one, to give the ball away, especially in the middle of the field, because they're pushing up and pressing high, getting ready to support the attack. But when you give the ball away, again, it catches your teammates out just right there. That's another poor giveaway from Legion FC. That's the fifth or sixth one. They've not been tidy with the ball, and Rhode Island has made them pay so far.
Hernandez Foster went it back. Here comes Birmingham. Trejo trying to go directly to Damas. Damas able to bring it under control and went down just a little easily. Mabika up to the challenge. Big center back's got his hands full tonight, making his first start. As a member of Rhode Island FC, McElhatton couldn't bring that under control. All the way out to the opposite side, Noah Fuson settles, in Rhode Island are playing from in front on the road. 15 minutes gone by here in the Magic City on a bit of a rainy night. It's the visitors who have control of this match thanks to an early goal from Maxi Rodriguez.
And I'll tell you this, Rhode Island will be perfectly happy with a 1-0 lead and protecting the lead and just kind of making this game choppy and stop-start. They don't need to go score another goal to win now, right? Of course, there's a long way to go. Still 75 minutes left of action, right? But now you see Tyler Pastor's dropping off, and he's picking up the ball on top of his own 18. He's not going to Hamoda. He's not going to Cavita out of the back, right? It's going straight to Tyler Pastor, 18 yards from his own goal, because he can take care of the ball and make the pass to break the lines and get the game going.
Something about that ball did not feel right to Tyler Pasher, so they're going to get a fresh one in there. Don't see that a whole lot, but Birmingham put a new ball back into play. Fan Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. The Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Pasher located on the right side now. Cutting back in, Albert Dequa halting his path for a moment. Danny Trejo trying to run this down, but it skips on now wet playing surface. Out for a Rhode Island goal kick. For Birmingham Legion, this is the exact opposite of the start they got last time out on the road against Tampa Bay Rowdies. Mark Briggs and company said that game should have been killed off within the first half hour. Legion had 3 or 4 big-time goal-scoring opportunities in the first half they could not put away. Although they did score 2 goals on the night, the Rowdies found a second one late. As the two sides shared a point apiece that night in St. Pete's. Right now it's Birmingham looking for a response. Cano Smith's side have come out, snatched control of this game early. Moses Mensah for someone to throw this back into. kick coming here for Birmingham after McElhatton was brought down from behind. We'll see if the Legion bring the big bodies forward, and Morgan gives us a chance to look at our keys to the match tonight. We'll start first with Rhode Island, who are off to a great start.
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit about for Legion FC. They've got to win the wings, right? They got to prevent service from Fuson and Dikwa, who got the goal to Maxi Rodriguez. But they need to be ruthless. You talk about the chances they missed in Tampa. For Rhode Island, they need to create more chances. They've already done that. Transition quickly. That led to their first goal. They are taking the game, the keys that they need to have to unlock Legion FC and score goals. They have done so far. Legion FC have not.
Free kick brought to you by Birmingham Freightliner. Danny Trejo right in front of the Rhode Island bench. Trying to pick out a gold shirt around the penalty spot. And away from trouble by Nodarse. Dikwa able to track it down and find a blue shirt. Vegas not convincing with his clearance, but it fell kindly to Amos Shapiro-Thompson. It'll be a Rhode Island throw.
To be honest, I'm not so sure he didn't mean that. Vegas has got a history and is known for being a goalkeeper who's pretty good with his feet, but you know, still, very risky pass right there. But he threaded a needle and it worked out.
Dikwa found from behind by Kavita. Joe Burrito quickly puts it down and puts it back into play. Rhode Island 1, Birmingham Legion 0. 20th minute, Sear Protective Stadium. Had a bit of a rain shower a few minutes ago. It seems like the rain has subsided for now. Most of the rain should be through central Alabama, and what's been a rain-heavy past 3 or 4 days here in this part of the country. Fuson couldn't keep that in play. Birmingham Legion throw right in front of Cano Smith.
Coach Smith, in the interview we had with him, was talking about, you know, he loves coming back to Birmingham. He misses it. He has a lot of friends still here. You know, you go somewhere and you settle into places, and it becomes like a home, an extra home for you. And you know, obviously in this business, you are traveling and moving around a lot, very frequently. But you know, he said there's always a little bit of extra competitive edge when you come back to a place where you previously were. Right? You don't want to lose to your friends.
Cano Smith and Tom Sohn helped build this Birmingham side from the ground up. Legion put into play in the USL Championship in 2019. Smith taking on a second opportunity to build something from the ground. On the second season of play for Rhode Island FC. This was a Rhode Island side that had plenty of success against Birmingham a year ago. Swept both the matchup in the Northeast and the one here in the Magic City. 2 goals from Zach Arivo propelled Rhode Island to a 3-1 victory in this stadium a year ago, and then a goal from Stephen Turnbull, who's now a member of Birmingham Legion FC, along with another former Legionnaire, J.J. Williams. 2 goals and a 2-0 victory for Rhode Island.
And of course, you've got Clay Holstat, who's from Birmingham, Alabama, who I believe wears number 12 for Rhode Island.
So all sorts of Birmingham, Rhode Island connections to follow tonight. Clay Holstat's got quite the cheering crew in. The Birmingham native played high school soccer at Oak Mountain High School, about 20-25 minutes away from this stadium. We're moving on to the University of Kentucky now in his second season with Rhode Island. Trejo in between the lines, his pass not on target to Moses Mensah. Here is Holstat.
And again, that's sloppy, right? He could have turned and taken players on right there. That's exactly where you want players like Trejo and Pasher to end up on the ball, right? In between the lines with the ability to turn. He had the ability to turn there, he just didn't. And he tried to make a pass, and it was a poor pass, and now they're chasing the ball again, trying to get it back.
Rhode Island enjoying possession. Turnbull looking for Fuson. Instead, Matt Van Oekel makes the catch on a hop. Birmingham fans, to stay up to date on all the latest Legion FC news, be sure to follow at BHM Legion on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and download the Legion FC app, available on both the App Store and Google Play. Birmingham Legion FC app and at BHM Legion, your home for all things Birmingham Legion FC. Jake Roof, another Alabama native, as we mentioned earlier, holds it up. Kobe Hernandez Foster, the other side for Hamoda. It's nowhere to go. Hope Gunn did foul him from behind, though.
And even there, right? So yes, Hamoda makes the pass, he makes the simple pass, but it takes too long. And so by the time the ball gets to him, Hope Gunn is able to close Mensah down, make him face back towards his goal, put his head down, and that's immediately a sign for a defender. Anytime somebody's facing their own goal or their head's down on the ball, you get as close to them as you can. He fouls him in that situation. But again, you know, you need to make sure, that's why a first touch is so important, because you have a good first touch and boom, your next step can play the next ball. And if you can't do that, then teams are able to shift, and especially at this level where the pace of the game is just so much faster, you have to be able to make sure that you can do that.
Hope Gunn got it to Deekwa's feet. Deekwa commits the foul with a little shove in the back. Sam McElhatton, the Australian midfielder, making his third start for Birmingham tonight. Already on an early yellow card. Birmingham trying to fortify, settle in their midfield. Now doing so with a new man in charge. This is the second game for Mark Briggs as the manager of Birmingham Legion FC, longtime manager of Sacramento Republic and Real Monarchs. Third most USL Championship victories as a head coach in league history. Now taking over this Birmingham project, seeing what he can do with this crew. He's off to a 1-3-3 start in USL Championship play. Find themselves trailing early tonight. Trejo's touch doesn't come off as intended. Shapiro Thompson on the run through defender. Shapiro Thompson saved by Van Oekel.
Again, that comes immediately from the giveaway from Legion FC, right? Immediately Shapiro Thompson's able to get on the ball, dribble through, beat a defender, break a line. He could have played Deekwa in there, and Deekwa, I guarantee you, would have wanted that ball and didn't get it. But you know, again, that's another warning sign for Legion FC. These aren't forced errors. These are unforced errors that Legion FC keep making, and it's not typical of them to see them do this.
Rodriguez's pass somehow found its way through. Hope Gunn pushing forward from his right back spot. Zahn turned backwards all the way back to Mabiga. 26-year-old signed with Rhode Island the early part of this month, with Rhode Island FC looking to shore up their depth, especially in defense, given the injuries they've had the early part of this year. O'Guns lobs it forward. Deekwa tries to chest it around Hamoda. Deekwa turns the corner. Deekwa sets it up. Kavita with a big-time intervention.
That's a goal-saving tackle from Kavita, because it was a wide-open net, and Matt Van Oekel will come to cover his front post. And again, it's simple. You know, Deekwa rolls. The 16-year-old gets around him, plays that ball across. A great opportunity for him to score a goal. You know, apart from a goal-saving tackle from Kavita. But again, Rhode Island are putting all the pressure on Legion FC right now.
Again, this is a Rhode Island team that has had quite a few matches here over the past few days. Weren't sure how much they would have in their legs tonight, but so far so good for the visitors. Speaking of legs, Tyler Pasher on the run, just narrowly beaten to it by Nodarse. Another look here at this intervention from Kavita.
Yikes, I don't know that he got the ball, but I think the ball goes through him. He misses.
Like Burrito went clattering to the ground, but no shots for a penalty. Damas trying to hold it up edge of the area. Enzo Martinez along the byline. His cross cut out by Nodarse, but there's another corner kick coming for the Legion, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. While the Legion bring numbers forward. Fans, to remind you, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. 27th minute here, Protective Stadium. Birmingham Legion, the home side, looking for a response. Kobe Hernandez-Foster serves to the back post roof, heads it back across, almost got it back to Hamoda.
It's a great service from Hernandez-Foster, and Jake Rube does a phenomenal job of heading that back into the danger area. And unfortunately for Legion FC and their fans, he's not able to get on the end of it. But again,
Asher's pass doesn't quite get through. Holstead, the Alabama native, taken off it rudely. He wanted a foul, didn't get one.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal tackle from Jake Roof. You saw him kind of almost hesitate a little bit, but he picked the exact right time. Holstad had a little bit of a heavy touch, and Jake Roof gets in there and stands firm, and Holstad goes flying by him, and he has the ball. Legion FC are now on the attack.
And so Martinez called for the foul as he tried to swim past Franco Darce. Cuban defender went down and got the whistle he was looking for. Enzo Martinez, not a huge fan of that call. Hard to tell from this angle how much contact there was in that.
Yeah, but, there's one thing that's certain. Enzo Martinez is always going to argue every single foul against him.
Well, the benefit of wearing the captain's armband for Enzo Martinez is, again, an emphasis this year for the officials. Captains are allowed to have those extended conversations. The leash significantly shorter for everybody else.
Yeah, maybe that's why part of the reason Enzo Martinez gets to wear the armband is because otherwise he would be booked incessantly for talking to the referee. It's just in his nature. He's just a fiery competitor and always has been.
Give Enzo Martinez credit. So far, just one yellow card this year. Approach the half-hour mark here at Protective Stadium. 1-0 our score in favor of Rhode Island. Birmingham fans, if you're looking to grab some of this season's Legion FC merch to wear to the next home match at Protective Stadium, you can check out all the new gear now at bhmlegion.shop. Again, that's bhmlegion.shop. Birmingham Legion going with the gold Lady Electric kits tonight. It's Rhode Island in their typical home shirt, the energy jersey they call it. So far, Rhode Island has brought the energy for this midweek matchup, looking for their third win in as many tries against Birmingham Legion.
I think one of the biggest differences tonight is so far in the first half hour is when Rhode Island has the ball, they are clean, they are tidy, they are completing their passes, and open him up. I mean, look here. I mean, Deke was able to get on the ball and turn and run at, Moses Mensah for Legion FC. And, so now they're starting to get into, the final third and what they're able to do. And, they don't like what they see, so they just go and they circle it and they cycle it back around, and now they're going to go out the other side, right? Nice and quickly. And so now here's some space for them to go at the right side of Legion FC's defense.
Sanchez's cross looked like it got hit by Jake Roof on the way through. An easy collection in the end for Matt Van Oekel. Mark Briggs has been off his chair quite a bit here in the opening 30 minutes. Probably none too pleased with what he's seen so far tonight.
I certainly wouldn't be pleased if I was him. Just the chances that they're giving up are entirely avoidable. The goal that they gave up was entirely avoidable, and so I would be super frustrated because those are just simple technical things, right? They're not tactic related, right? If you're as a coach and you set some tactics and your tactics are wrong and the team beats you because you draw some things to try and they don't come off and it's horribly wrong and you leave yourself open in other areas, that's on the coach, right? But you shouldn't have to worry about your players making 15 and 20 yard passes and retaining possession as a result of that, right? Those are things that the players need to look at themselves in the mirror and say, hey, I need to fix this. This needs to be something that I don't do anymore.
Foul here on Danny Trejo. Just got a little piece of Amos Shapiro-Thompson from behind. Just the third start of the year for Shapiro-Thompson, the former Boston College Eagle. Played about an hour last time out against Monterey Bay. Usan heads it down. Pretty flick from Rodriguez to keep possession with the team in blue. To your point, Morgan, for Birmingham Legion, you can't afford to give opportunities to guys as good as Maxi Rodriguez and Albert Dequa. There's another foul and a free kick conceded. Joe Brito went to ground.
I don't know how much of Brito Kavita got, but Brito made it look as though he was tackled at full speed. There's some contact, but you can easily see that Brito jumps up and then falls down. And again, it's so easy to see up here when we have replay, but again, I talked about it earlier. You have to force the referee to make a decision. And the thing is, if the referee is consistent, the players will respect that. If he's inconsistent, that's when you start to have problems. Referees have to be consistent.
Shapiro Thompson's going to put this down. His short option is Sanchez.
Yeah, there's certainly going to be, the second he sets something down, I would expect some movement. There's that's going to be a cue.
Awkward spot to serve this in for Shapiro Thompson as he chips it over the top. Headed back across goal. Enzo Martinez got there first. His clearance only as far as Sanchez. Big body still forward for Rhode Island for a moment, but now it looks like they're going to reset. To the back post. Mensah the first head to it in front of Husan, but Dequa tracks it down. More possession for Rhode Island.
Little flare there from Dequa. You can usually tell when a player is excited and growing into a game. As I say that, he cheaply gives the ball away. It's the commentator's curse. But you can tell when players are growing confidence when they do things like that. I mean, certain techniques are just, natural and just instinctive, right? But other things are a little trickier and riskier that you don't typically do during a game. When you start to do those things, you can tell that you're feeling good.
Michaelhead plays it over the top. Mensah chested down. Mensah looking for Pasher. Couldn't quite get it there, but Bika got there first. Bika couldn't turn the corner. Referee says there was a touch from Pasher. It'll be a Rhode Island throw. Perhaps the visitors catch a bit of a break there instead of a throw for Birmingham in the attacking third. Rhode Island a chance to get it back on their feet. Throw over the top of everybody. Roof shuffles it back. Fans, the USL on the CBS Sports Network continues on May 28th with the Western Conference doubleheader. San Antonio FC take on FC Tulsa, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, followed by Las Vegas Lights FC and Phoenix Rising FC at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch all the action on CBS Sports Network on May 28th. Dip in the championship on CBS Sports Network. Thanks for joining us tonight on CBS Sports Golazo. Blake Gardner Morgan coached your crew here tonight in the Magic City. Good start for the visitors, Rhode Island FC, but Birmingham a chance to answer here. Tyler Pasher in the attacking third. Holds off Holstead, racing to the byline. Got his serve to the back post. No Darce dealt with it. Roof corrals. Here's Kobe Hernandez Foster. Martinez. Enzo Martinez, his shot blocked, right back to his feet. A second opportunity, takes a deflection wide. Out for another Birmingham corner, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
I'm being hypercritical right now, and I'm going to be hypercritical of Enzo Martinez in particular because of two different things. The ball that he just shot, he very easily could have slipped in Danny Trejo on the first touch had he been paid, had he seen it. But he took a touch, took an extra, 3-4-5, earns a corner. But prior to that, he took a touch, 3-4-5, and then got the ball to Pasher with a lazy pass. That ball needs to get out to him quickly so Pasher can start to run at the other team.
Trejo serves into a crowded area. Deflected all the way back to Roof. Michaelhead still has plenty of gold shirts he could try to pick out here. So he'll leave it for Pasher. There's 1v1 against Maxi Rodriguez. Pasher cuts it inside. He'll have a go and didn't miss the frame by much.
See, that's better. That's where you want Tyler Pasher to pick the ball up. Isolated, 1v1. He had a little bit of a 2v2 situation, so he could have played a two-man game with Jake Roof there, but cuts inside, just inside of that corner of that 18. Boom. Shifts it. Maxi Rodriguez has no chance. He just didn't get enough bend on it. You wonder if, Cookie Vegas would have had that covered, but again, that's where Tyler Pasher needs to get the ball with an opportunity to run at a player, take him on, make him miss, and shoot or create for somebody else.
Husan takes the bump from behind for Mensah. Free kick, Rhode Island. Husan a little slow to get up. Moses Mensah none too pleased.
I mentioned earlier, after Rhode Island got the ball, they don't have to have another one to win this game. They just need to make sure that this game is chopped up as much as it can. Don't let players like Trejo, Martinez, Damas, and Pasher get into any sort of rhythm, which they've done a fantastic job of so far, and they're taking advantage of the opportunities that they're getting. And it's something as simple as when you can't have any flow in a game, you have no ability to really get into a rhythm. right? And so the more fouls that are called, the more opportunities for the game to stop, the harder it is for that to happen.
Rodriguez went to ground, didn't get the whistle he was searching for. Shapiro Thompson couldn't keep it in play, neither could Fuson. A throw for Birmingham Legion here.
Not to mention, they're playing their 5th game in 3 weeks. You know, it's been tough for them lately. So they're going to be very happy to chop a game up and find as many opportunities to rest their legs as they can.
Again, Fuson goes to ground. This time the referee not buying what he's selling. Martinez trying to throw it out in front of Tyler Pasher. Can Pasher get there first? Not quite. No, Darcy beats him to it. Okay, Vegas with some composure flips it right back to the Cuban center back. Here's Burrito. With Sanchez making the run in behind. Jake Roof. Another excellent challenge from Roof. Sanchez down and still on the floor. He's slow to get up on the far side of the park. Rodriguez's pass tipped by Martinez. Thomas will have a go. Vegas had it covered as it just goes over the top.
Yeah, bright idea from Damas. I don't blame him for taking that at all. You get an opportunity, you know the goalkeeper's off his line, you got to try and hit him out. He just gets a little bit too much mustard on it.
Almost deja vu for Koke Vegas, who had to make a similar save a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, you see him, he picks his head up and he realizes that Koke Vegas is off his line and he goes for it and just doesn't hit the target.
Goal kick here for Vegas and Rhode Island. Fans, you can watch the USL Championship in Spanish on Tu Dien, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. North Carolina FC face off against Oakland Roots on May 16th at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Pasher gets it back to McElhatton. Well done from both of them. It's Birmingham trying to apply some pressure to Rhode Island down the stretch of this opening 45 as we try to close it down. It's been 1-0 in favor of Rhode Island since the 14th minute, thanks to Albert Deekwa setting up Maxi Rodriguez.
And Tyler Pasher's made a darting run off screen. You can't see, Trejo didn't have it out of his feet in the moment, but Pasher would have easily been in behind had he been able to pick that pass.
Here is Pasher now, interplay with Jake Roof. It's right back to Hamoda. Teenager surveying his options. Martinez, one of them. It deflects kindly almost to Trejo. Mabika had to be perfect as he went to ground, and he was.
This is where Pasher needs the ball. See, in my opinion, Hernandez-Foster doesn't need to be there, right? You need to clear that space for Pasher to be able to run at players and go after anyone he has the opportunity to. And that's just my humble opinion, right? I think a player like Pasher needs to be isolated 1v1 and let him take players on. But instead, Kobe Hernandez-Foster crowds that space. Tyler can't get into it. They end up earning a corner. However, I'm pretty sure they would love to see Tyler Pasher running at a defender 1v1.
Vegas tried to keep that in play, but to no avail. Another corner brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Kobe Hernandez-Foster to provide some in-swinging service. It's driven. Headed away by Fuson, only as far as Enzo Martinez. Second header supplied by Deekwa. Hatton looking towards the edge of the area. Hamoda heads it down in the direction of Danny Trejo. Trejo right back to Hamoda. Those two trying to connect. Trejo. Too tall for Damas. Dealt with by Sanchez. Martinez. Again up to the challenge. This time Hope Gunn for another Legion FC corner.
It would have been offside. It wouldn't have counted. Damas was certainly offside, but Legion FC ended up getting a Chick-fil-A corner kick out of this. And another opportunity to put some pressure on the Rhode Island goal before this half is over.
Half dozen corners for Mark Briggs' side. They chase an equalizing goal with less than 3 minutes to go in this opening 45.
Very crowded inside that 6 right now.
Another driven serve from Hernandez-Foster. Damas only got a piece of it.
Until the last two, they've immediately gone. Hernandez Foster's whipped that ball in right at the front post. They're looking for Damas to just get on the end of it and flick it and just cause any sort of chaos with almost really 16 to 20 guys inside of that 6-yard box of Vegas. He can't go anywhere. It's just too crowded. So an interesting tactic from Legion FC.
Mika chested down and able to keep it in play. It's Rhode Island shape. It's a little flipped at the moment. Holstead. Dikwa, was he fouled? Yes, he was. Hamoda thought he got the ball. Referee saw it differently. And the teenager is booked. The second yellow card shown to a member of Birmingham Legion in this first half. Once again, brought to you by Rubio Law Firm. Big Cameroonian forward Albert Dikwa went crashing to the ground.
You could hear his shriek from all the way up here in the broadcast booth. I don't think it warranted the audio that we heard from him, but certainly I can't argue with the call. I don't think that's something that doesn't need to be called. I don't know that it's a yellow card, if I'm going to be honest. I think maybe the effect of the yell from Dikwa influences the referee there, but
so it is a free kick here for Rhode Island, and Vegas is going to come all the way across the midway stripe to put it back in play. He flips it into the corner. Fuson chested down. Lovely touch to get around Mensa. Fuson's cross cut out by McElhatton. But a second Rhode Island corner is coming. Or will it? Looks like that's going to be last out, touched by Fuson. So, well done defending by McElhatton, coming to the rescue. Birmingham will have a chance to rebuild for the back here. 45th minute with reportedly 1 minute of stoppage time coming to close this first half. McElhatton's touch too heavy. He has to be careful. He's already on a yellow. This a second one, and he's done. Sam McElhatton shown his second yellow card 45 minutes in, and Birmingham Legion are already down to 10 men.
A red card ejection has been issued by the referee.
So the Australian booked for a second time. He's been given his marching orders. And my, how the complexion of this game has changed now. A massive, massive play early as the Legion tried to claw their way back on level terms. McElhatton picked up a yellow card just minutes into this first half.
can't argue there. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, you're going in, you already have a card. It's a bad first touch, right? And so now you're going in, you're leaving your feet, and you don't win the ball. And so it stinks. It stinks. It really does for Legion FC, and the crowd is booing the card, but McElhatton had no arguments whatsoever walking off the field. He just turned and he walked and he knew. But again, those are the things that you have to be careful of. Now, in my opinion, I don't think the referee has, let anything go and let the flow of the game get into it. He's called every single thing. I hesitate to say that, maybe you give him one last stern warning. McElhatton never got a warning. The very first foul, in the 4th minute of the game, he gets booked. No, I don't think anybody's going to argue it's a bookable offense. And he gives it. And here, again, bad first touch. Gives the ball away. He goes in to try and win it. He lunges. Usually I will be critical of referees, and I will say that you need to give a guy at least a final warning before you send him off. But in this instance, I can't disagree with the referee, unfortunately.
Mensa clip from behind by Dikwa. Free kick given. Now we'll see how much is left here in this opening 45. Not much at all, in fact. There is the first half whistle. And Rhode Island FC will take a 1-goal advantage into the halftime dressing room. And Birmingham Legion on their home turf will have some work to do, trailing by a goal and now down a man for the remaining 45 minutes. So Mark Briggs and company will head back to the locker room, try and get themselves organized as Cano Smith and Rhode Island FC try and keep their advantage whole. Coming up at halftime, we'll get a look at some highlights and stats, plus a look around the league as we get set for another busy weekend in the USL Championship. That all when we return to Protective Stadium. Our score through 45 minutes, Rhode Island FC 1, Birmingham Legion 0.
Time to hammer down. Season tickets on sale now.
That spice is 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Hi, my name is Khadijah, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick of the chicken. It's just the right amount of heat. It gets me excited and definitely wanting more. And then, pro tip, add that cilantro lime sauce. I couldn't get enough of that sauce. It cools it down. If the sandwich is at 100, the cilantro lime takes it to 200. It makes me want to, tell all my friends and family.
Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Welcome back to our coverage of Birmingham Legion FC here on My 68. Pleased to be joined by the captain of Birmingham Legion FC, Fanwell Kavita. Fanwell, great to have you back, man. That was your first 45 minutes last week.
I felt great. Obviously, being out sucks. Obviously, you try to find ways to help the team out as much as you can, and I don't mind doing it off the field, but obviously that's why we play the game, is to be on the field, so it felt really nice.
Had to be a different feeling for you, too. I mean, you're a guy that, I think you went 3 years missing, just one game.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that feeling like?
It's quite the mental battle, just because, obviously, you do everything throughout the preseason, throughout the offseason to be prepared to start off strong, but it happens, and you just got to stay focused and stay locked in on what you're trying to accomplish, and obviously it's being on the field and then getting results and being the best you can for the group. So obviously there's been a lot of changes going on, and myself and the rest of the group, the way we've taken on different information and then going out there and putting it to work, it looked really nice and it felt good, and obviously having possession of the ball is a big thing for us, so if we can continue to build on that, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, one of the big changes, the new man in charge, Mark Briggs, taking over here a couple of days ago. What has it been like since he's come in the building?
It's been great. Obviously, I think most of us know him because just playing against him and being at different clubs, but having him here and seeing how he approaches training sessions and see how he approaches just the everyday life and obviously preparing for the game is, for me, I appreciate that.
And you brought in some veterans this club has over the offseason as well that have similar perspectives like you when you talk about guys like Danny Trejo, Ronaldo Damas, guys that have been around in this league. What's it been like kind of getting some input from those guys on what it takes to be successful in this league?
They have the winner mentality, I think, especially Danny and Damas. Obviously, those guys especially have won trophies, and bringing and adding those type of guys to our group just makes us that much better to go for our goal. And I think the more we have those type of mentalities and incorporate those mentalities into the rest of the group, I think we have a great chance of getting results.
Well, looking forward to seeing the results coming up here this summer. Mark Briggs taking over, and you guys starting to get on a run. Fanny, appreciate the time, man.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
More from our coverage of the Legion right after this.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way.
Focus!
Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power.
Whatever it takes.
Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Balm's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger so that you can rise above pain.
Let's make a Karate Kid.
And get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
This week on USL All Access, Knoxville's new head coach, Ian Fuller, is off to an undefeated start in the league. He joins us to talk about all the good things going on in Knoxville. We'll also talk about a disappointing week in the Open Cup for the USL Championship, including what's wrong in Tampa Bay. It's all coming up this week on USL All Access on SiriusXM FC.
Welcome back to our coverage of the USL Championship tonight from the Magic City, Birmingham, Alabama. Alabama Theater, not too far from Protective Stadium. The Birmingham Legion FC, who trail Rhode Island FC 1-0 so far through 45 minutes of action. As we kick off another week here in the USL Championship. Quick look at our standings for both the East and the West. As we get a new week started, Morgan out west, it is wild. Just 6 points separates the top of the table from below the playoff line.
That's great for drama. You love to see that the teams are so close because that means every game is competitive.
San Antonio, 5 wins for their first 9. They've got a game in hand on Monterey Bay FC. What a turnaround it has been for Monterey Bay. Meanwhile, on the eastern side of things, you talked about it earlier in that first half. Louisville City, of course, Charleston Battery both been classed, but the story of the year in the East has been what Loudoun United has done.
Yeah, undefeated as our Charleston Battery, but I mean, excuse me, I'm sorry, they're 7-2-0, but they've been so good so far this year. I think one of their only losses is to Louisville, but they've been fantastic. Obviously, the story of the season is a surprise. And on the other end of the table, it's just everybody Legion FC's played so far.
Legion FC and their opponents tonight, Rhode Island FC, both came into this match on 6 points. We'll see who changes that coming up later tonight. Across the rest of the USL, Louisville City fell just short of equalizing a consecutive home win record with that draw against Pittsburgh. They had done nothing but winning at Lynn Family Stadium at the end of last year and the start of this year. Elsewhere, we talked about through the end, new deal for the USL. Games will be broadcasted over there coming up on May 16th. That's just 2 days from now. North Carolina FC taking on Oakland Roots on Through the End. That game kicking off 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. I already talked about how wild things are out on the Western Conference things. For Cano Smith and Rhode Island, they're signed up 1-0 so far. And Morgan, you talked about all the big road trips they had taken at the start of the year. They get one more trip down to Florida coming up here in just a few days before they get a nice stretch of games that are mostly at home.
Yeah, and of course, going to see Tampa Bay. They get a result here against Legion FC, a team they're close to at the bottom. Tampa Bay is also struggling so far out of the gates this year. You know, a good opportunity potentially for them to get 6 points and kind of climb back up to that table.
A Tampa Bay Rowdies game, kind of the last one in this stretch of games that have come fast and furious for Rhode Island. Meanwhile, for Birmingham Legion, they're right back at it this weekend at home against a very good Detroit City side.
Yes, and a team that they've not beaten in Birmingham or drawn any points from in Birmingham so far. You know, and Miami's not been bad so far this year. It doesn't get any easier for Legion FC.
And these next 45 minutes won't be easy either as we look at the stats from the opening half so far. Morgan, it was a quick start for Rhode Island FC. Birmingham Legion started to create a little bit more danger the back half of that opening 45, but now it is going to be a steep hill to climb.
It is, and you know, Legion FC have now given up 9 goals in 8 USL Championship games so far this year, more than any other team in the league. That's not a good stat that you want to have on your resume. You know, in Rhode Island, again, are a team that like the ball and can make the most of their possession, and are going to do that in the second half.
Another early goal conceded by the Legion of Rhode Island have taken that early advantage into the halftime dressing room as we stand. 1-0 Rhode Island over Birmingham through 45 minutes, the second half from Protective Stadium when we return.
We are Altec, Birmingham-based since 1929. We set the gold standard in equipment and services that connect us to the power and communications we all need. From bucket trucks to digger derricks, the equipment we make helps our customers and our communities dig deeper and reach higher. We're a team. We're a family. We're looking for someone just like you. Hammer down and team up with Altec. Learn more at jobs.altec.com.
Fans, the USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Great look at Vulcan, overlooking downtown Birmingham, Alabama, home to Birmingham Legion FC, but home turf has not been kind to the Legion so far tonight. Blake Gardner, Morgan Copes here with you on CBS Sports Golazo as we look at some highlights from the opening half between Birmingham and Rhode Island. Morgan, it was a physical start to this game, and our referee tonight, Luis Diego Arroyo, wasted no time in going to his pocketbook.
Yeah, he did, and you know, in the 5th minute, you see, here's a chance. Mikkel Hatton goes in, and he's very late. At a different juncture in the game, that could have been a red card. I mean, it was high, it was late, it had force, you know, and then here you see Dikwa get on the end of the ball, play the ball through Kavita's legs, straight into Maxi Rodriguez's pass, easy as you like, just tucks it into that bottom corner. 1-0 Rhode Island FC, and they're cruising.
Inside of 15 minutes, the visitors had a lead. A few minutes later, Birmingham Legion, a penalty shout on one end, and then Manuel Cavita had to be good against Joe Brito there, and a lot of contact there when uncalled. Cavita able to keep a potential second off the board there. Tyler Pasher, a narrow miss, probably Birmingham's best scoring opportunity.
Yeah, I think so, and that's exactly where Legion FC need to get Tyler Pasher the ball. Ability to just dip inside, and here's the red card. And again, you know, I don't know that anybody can have any complaints. It's high. Studs are showing. He has a bad first touch. You know, there's no complaints from Mikkel Hatton. You know, Mensa goes and complains at halftime as well. It just, again, in my opinion, Legion FC are creating a lot of their own problems so far tonight, and they'll need to come out and have a little bit of extra pep in their step. They have the talent to take on a team even with 10 men, but the organization from Rhode Island is typically very good in Connor Smith's teams, especially defensively. So they are going to have some tired legs, but Legion FC are going to have to make sure that they are careful with the ball and they take the most of every single chance that is presented to them.
We'll see how much Rhode Island have left in the tank. Again, playing their third game in 12 days here tonight. So far, so good for the visitors. They have a goal advantage, and now they have a man advantage for the entirety of this second half. Neither team has announced any changes as we get ready for the second 45 minutes to get going. Referee tonight, Luis Diego Arroyo, has already sent off Sam McElhatton. Misa Moda is also playing on a yellow card in the second half. And we'll see what this second 45 has in store. Aldo Damas and Birmingham Legion. Second half going. How do the tactics and the complexion of this formation change for a Birmingham side that has been reduced to 10 men already?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. So now Legion FC lose their defensive midfielder in Mikkel Hatton. You have Pasher still on, Trejo still on, Damas up front. So the front three are still the same. So now you just have Kobe Hernandez-Foster and Enzo Martinez, both players who like to really drive forward and get as close to the box as they can, who are going to have to figure out between the two of themselves who's going to sit in front of the defensive line in order to
Martinez almost got it behind there. Mabika had to get it out of play, but that was well worked from Ronaldo Damas. The hold-up play splendid all the way into the 18. Corner kick brought to you by Chick-fil-A coming, and these might be some of the best opportunities Birmingham will have down a man.
Yeah, and in my opinion, if Rhode Island's going to drop every player back into their box, I'm leaving one at the D, and it's one of my defenders who has the most pace, but I'm giving everybody else inside the box.
Pasher service dealt with. Moses Mensah on to it.
See, I think he could have taken it. You know, Mensah, obviously he's a defender, right? But that would have been on his preferred left foot. You time that right.
Trejo tried to turn the corner. His cross cut out as well by Mabika, but out for another Legion corner. Birmingham's corner count continues to climb at the outset of this second half. This is corner number 8. Danny Trejo, 2 hands in the air. Very good ball delivered, but again dealt with. Hernandez-Foster on the volley, bouncing through. Vegas makes a clean collection.
And that's not the one I would take to hit towards goal. But again, if anybody's going to do it, Kobe Hernandez-Foster has as sweet of a left foot as anybody else does. But again, this is going to be it for Rhode Island, right? They have no reason to push the issue, to play quickly. They just need to make the ball move. And when you're up a man in possession, you know, you do things in training on areas within cones that are the size of a postage stamp, right? And you do it with, you know, 15 or 18 guys inside there. That's sloppy from Fuson. He's gonna want that back. He's gonna be disappointed in himself. But when you have a full 75 by 116 yard field or 76 by 116 to play on, you know, getting the ball back from 11 versus 10 is difficult.
Jake Roof in the corner, able to find Tyler Pasher, who's coming back to help support. Cavita under a bit of pressure. The pass not quite going to get all the way to Damas. Clay Holstead, the Alabama man, gets there first.
you can almost feel it in Rhode Island's body language. Nodarse there, just casually getting to the ball, not overly excited, overly urgent, and again the same from Mabika there, right? And so now Legion FC have to go and they have to press and then they foul, right? And so that just kills the rhythm of the game even more. And so you have to be so intentional about how you're going to pick the right times to go, and that's certainly, you know, probably a little frustration from Tyler Pasher. But again, I would fully expect to see this for the rest of the game from Rhode Island FC. You're gassed from all the travel that you've done so far this season. You've had some emotional games in the past week, past 7 days. This is your third game in this 7-day set, and you have no incentive to hurry to anything right now.
Mensa lobs it in. Thomas couldn't hold it up. It's back with Rhode Island's possession. Nodarse went to ground there for a moment, but looks like he's okay to continue. Birmingham forced to pick their spots here on when they apply pressure. We'll see how long Mark Briggs lets this Legion 10 play before he goes to his bench for fresh legs. Trejo couldn't quite take it off a Holstead. On the other side, Nodarse. It's a Rhode Island team that knows a little something about red cards. They've had a couple of red cards shown to them already this year. They're on a positive side of an 11v10. On the positive side of a 1-0 scoreline, although that pass looked like it was intended for Cano Smith rather than a blue jersey. It's out for a Birmingham throw. Looking for someone to get this back in play too. Ronaldo Damas doing his best to supply hold-up play. Was he fouled by Nodarse? Referee says no.
See, that's some of the inconsistency that I think this referee is starting to show tonight. Again, there was enough contact there. That ball went over both of them. Damas had rolled his defender, rolled Nodarse, and doesn't get the call, right? You know, I don't think that's, in my opinion, I don't think that's a foul. However, he's called that tonight.
Here comes Fuson, leaves it for Rodriguez, top of the box. Rodriguez, Van Oekel, the initial save and the second. The third is headed off the bar. Rodriguez finally into Van Oekel's breadbasket, and somehow Matt Van Oekel and Fonwell Kavita keep this a 1-goal game.
Listen, Matt Van Oekel has made one or two big mistakes this year so far, but apart from, I think actually he's made one mistake, but this is a fantastic save. The first one is a great save, gets his fingers to it, then he gets back up, makes himself big, and then Kavita gets on the line and just, you know, takes it off his head onto the crossbar. Very fortunate for Legion FC that Fuson put that right to him, but Matt Van Oekel has probably been the best player for Legion FC so far this year. He has kept them in this game, he's kept them in other games, you know, and he's twice the age of Hamoda. He's 38. He's the oldest goalkeeper in the league, and he's still able to do things like that. So it has to be comforting in some capacity to know that you still have a goalkeeper that's able to produce saves like that, double saves like that.
Monster stops from MVO, who already came into the night top 5 in the USL Championship in the saves department. Thomas couldn't get that around Nodarse. Kavita played the turf hop well. Roof trying to head it along. Martinez on the run. Couldn't beat Sanchez to it. But Sanchez the last man to touch it out. It'll be a Birmingham throw. Martinez wanted to go quickly and does. Trejo couldn't keep it in a crowd.
It's really, really well done from Sanchez there.
Sanchez could. Dequa holding it up for Rodriguez, and now Holstead and company can break. Holstead working with Fuson. 1v1 with Mensa.
What a
Fuson
ball.
cuts it back. Maxi Rodriguez, his first touch a little too heavy.
That's a fantastic pick out. Come on, referee, you got to get out of the way.
Referee in the way of that pass from Trejo will whistle play back to where that happened.
That's a fantastic pullback from Fuson. To have the vision to be able to find Maxi Rodriguez there is next level, and he's got that capability. But you know, it doesn't work out, obviously. But again, that's a fantastic ball.
Birmingham trying to build once more. 8 minutes into this second half. Back to the feet of Matt Van Oekel. Roof, lovely flick in the direction of Tyler Pasher. Pasher greeted by Nadarce. Still Pasher to the byline and couldn't quite get the serve away.
That's good. That's good defending from Nadarce there. He knows that Tyler Pasher wants to get the ball on his left foot, and so he showed him, he gave a little bit of extra space for him to go to his right foot. He takes a heavy touch. The ball is very fast on this turf, especially when it's been wet down like Legion FC does at halftime and just before the game. So the ball runs off. Great defensive work from Nadarce there.
Koke Vegas and company can build once more. Fans, if you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches for the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Briggs joined the crew at USL All Access last week as he settled into his new office here in Birmingham. Man, oh man, maybe the play of the match depending on how this game shapes out the rest of the night.
I'm not sure which save is better, Van Oekel's 2 or Kavita's 1 off his head.
Two of the elder statesmen of this Birmingham side putting their bodies on the line, trying to keep the Legion in this game, but a giveaway here might prove costly. Dikwa, can he beat Kavita to that? He can't. Fanwo Kavita to the rescue again. Sanchez collects. Pasher trying to win it off him and does. Pasher around one man, around a second. Couldn't get around Holstad though. Now Holstad's onto it. He can have a go from here. Thought about it. Now we'll take it, and just wide. Birmingham native narrowly missing, coming back to his home city and scoring.
Very close. Didn't catch it as cleanly as he would have wanted. He struck across the ball. You could see the spin on it. It was spinning away from him. You know, you can tell when a player doesn't get a ball struck cleanly just based on the spin of it.
Couple of big scoring opportunities early in this second half that Birmingham have survived. As Rhode Island threatened to extend this from a 1-goal margin. Island FC would love to tack on another 1 or 2 here. Goal scoring opportunities haven't come as quickly as Cotto Smith and company would have liked the early part of this campaign. Rhode Island put a bunch in the back of the net against Westchester to open up their USL Jägermeister Cup campaign. Put up multiple goals in their win of the US Open Cup against Hearts of Pine, but USL Championship play coming into the night had just 6 goals from their first 7 matches. Found the back of the net early tonight. Now Clay Holstad and company perhaps looking for more as they try to take advantage of that man advantage a dozen minutes into the second half.
Yeah, Shapiro Thompson and Clay Holstad are pulling the strings for Rhode Island right now and doing a great job. They're controlling the tempo, and it's been very effective. And
Sanchez into the area, crosses. Amoda got a foot to it. Dikwa and Fuson were arriving. Kavita, nervy moments there. Able to break through the pressure. Trejo couldn't find his way around Mabika.
That's just bad. That's bad. I don't know how to elaborate on that. It's just bad. You cannot give the ball away in that situation if you're Trejo.
Sanchez, another serve. This one to the back post where nobody had made that run. Mensa sweeps it away.
An interesting stat. so far. The referee's blown the whistle 16 times so far tonight. 11 against Legion FC, 5 against Rhode Island.
This Birmingham crowd not pleased with the way whistles have unfolded so far, but Rhode Island has held this goal advantage for quite some time. Now a chance for Maxi Rodriguez. 1v1 against Hernandez Foster. Rodriguez leaves it for Holstead. Out the other side, Rio Hope Gund. Working with Fuson. Rhode Island will reset all the way back to their center backs. Mayba Bika making his first start tonight. Rhode Island FC has been solid so far. He puts his foot on the ball as Rhode Island don't have to push things if they don't want to, but it looks like they will. An opportunity that goes into the side netting. It was tapped out. A Rhode Island corner. Not a bad effort there from Brito.
You know, off screen you can see Kavita is kind of pointing and kind of telling the people in front of him. Nobody stepped to Rhode Island just there. I can't remember who took the shot just now, but no one stepped to Brito to try and defend him. Kobe Hernandez Foster shied away. Hamoda shied away. No one was in with, gave him any sort of contestation when he took that shot.
Sanchez, an in-swinging serve. Hamoda got ahead to it. Brito tried to walk onto it. It deflects and spins and stays in play. So Hernandez Foster clears it away.
Just trying to get Pasher in behind. He's still on if Enzo can hit it, but that's not the ball needed to be in front of him.
Pasher does have a little bit of space here, but not much in the way of support as waits for his side to get organized. A couple of moments ago, you saw Mark Briggs talking with not one but 2 Birmingham substitutes. The Legion looks set to be making a couple of changes in just a few moments.
Looks like it's going to be Torres and Turnbull that are going to be coming on. And if it's me, I could see Jake Roof coming off and going for a like-for-like swap and pulling him off. And then for Torres, I could see him going on for Enzo Martinez, honestly. I don't know that Enzo's gotten on the ball and has dictated play as much as he would have liked to tonight.
So we'll see what Birmingham decide to do here just past the hour mark. So Rhode Island put the foot on the ball. Fancy football is here. You can now live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download it now. Gaming console of your choice. Maxi Rodriguez drifting in between the lines. Good positioning from Hamoda. Cut that out before it got through to Dequa. And Trejo met with the crowd. Found Mensah, who almost got caught in possession. Van Okel sends it away, but beyond Pasher. Easy header in the end for Sanchez, and more possession coming for Rhode Island. Here's Roman Torres. Turnbull, who are coming on for Birmingham. As Mark Briggs makes his first 2 changes of the night. Here at the next available opportunity. Holstead able to get it out wide. Usan running at Mensah again. Got the serve all the way across. Sanchez blocked away by Roof. Thompson allows everyone to reset. Brito. Maxi Rodriguez dispossessed by Kavita. Holstead rescues it though. As you would expect down a man, Birmingham having to go long stretches defending here. Just able to keep that in play, working with Rio Hope Gund. It's the 3rd start of the year in USL Championship play for Hope Gund, who originally signed a 25-day deal with Rhode Island just to see if he would fit in with this crew. Now on a full contract as of the 1st of this month. He's performed well in that right fullback spot. Shapiro Thompson. Gets it back, still Shapiro Thompson, finally dispossessed by Martinez. Hernandez Foster might have had a say as well. Pasture looking long over the top, Damas on the run. No, Darce's got him beat to it.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that move from Legion FC. I would have liked to see Tyler Pasture carry that ball. Instead, he hits a 40, 50-yard, somewhat of a diagonal ball for Damas to just chase. And Damas has plenty of pace. Let's not take that away from him. But you know, it's always tough to chase something like that.
Again, Birmingham in need of some fresh legs. They've tried to bring them on for about 3 minutes or so, just haven't gotten a stoppage to do so. Now they will. Foul and a free kick conceded. Birmingham an opportunity to make that double change. Ramon Torres, former Creighton Blue Jay on loan from Minnesota, will come on and replace Kobe Hernandez Foster. Of course, the other change is Steven Turnbull, the former member of Rhode Island FC, transferred to Birmingham in late January. He will come on for Jake Roof. Legion fans, they're happy to see Steven Turnbull available once again. He's been hampered by injury at the outset of this 2025 campaign. This is just his 4th appearance. He made a late cameo in Birmingham's last contest on the road against Tampa Bay Rowdies.
He's a more attack-minded type outside back. And if he's able to get forward, he can create for Damas to score. But, you know, they have to get the ball back first. And, you know, gosh, Rhode Island's not giving him any sniff of it. And they're, again, perfectly happy with the way that this game is going so far and do not need to push.
Cano Smith is prepping his first change of the night as well. So Jay Quizera has grabbed his shirt. Son didn't like what he saw, will opt to go back to his center backs. Rhode Island continue to enjoy the bulk of the ball here the first 20 minutes of this second half. Tyler Pasher trying to apply a little bit of pressure now. Forced it all the way back to Vegas. Vegas good with his distribution. Found Fuson, who fouled Moses Mensah. So finally, Birmingham able to get their feet back on the ball, but not going to be allowed to play quickly as Quizera is ready to come on. Rhode Island's first change of the night is Quizera for Albert Tiqua.
Yeah, Tiqua taking all the time he can, taking his shin pads off at midfield before he comes off the field. And his tape. Again, he's taking as much time. The referee's over there arguing with Enzo Martinez, or Enzo's arguing with the referee. The referee's not paying attention. Nobody's telling the center referee, hey, he's just taking his time. Again, I'm going to be hypercritical of Enzo Martinez right now, and I have been for the past few games. Stop talking to the referee. You're down a goal. You did something very similar in Hartford, and you continue to just talk to players, talk to referees, and argue calls when your team is losing. When your team is losing, you just need to get the ball back in play, which he tried to do. Fair play to him, right? And got stopped because there was a substitution that was to happen. But continue to chat with the referee is not going to change anything that he's done. It's not going to influence what he's going to do in the future. You just need to get your head down and you need to play the game and you need to lead your team, right? He's the captain, so everybody's looking to him and his attitude and how he approaches the referee and approaches the rest of this game will filter down to the rest of the players.
Opportunity developing here for the visitors. Brito on the run. Turnbull trying to push him away. Fuson collects. Back heels it in. Play to Quizara. Good job from Birmingham Legion to get numbers back behind the ball. Otherwise, it looked like Joe Brito might have had a chance in on goal. Brito had that outstanding finish against Monterey Bay. He's at the top of the box here looking for some service. Zera somehow able to maintain possession all the way through on some 30-plus yard run.
It's a heck of a way to introduce yourself into the game, get the feel for it.
Sanchez immediately plays it. Brito on the turn. Turnbull able to take it away from him. Pasher in a crowd. Maxi Rodriguez almost won it back. Pasher gets it right back to his feet. Damas trying to turn and sprint around Nodarse and couldn't. Strong hands for Nodarse.
And Nodarse, that's just fantastic defending. I know Damas pulls up, but the second he touched that ball past Nodarse had already had position on him and had leverage. Damas was never going to get to that ball as soon as he pushed it long.
Olstead has options here, one of which is Fuson, who is fouled. Free kick coming here to Rhode Island. They'll play it quickly. Olstead wastes no time putting it down. Quizera trying to get around Mensah to the byline. Mensah does the job.
Great defending from Mensah right there. Quizera is not a guy that's easy to defend when he's 1v1, and Mensah does a fantastic job of just waiting for him to make the move, and as soon as he makes it, he makes the right decision and goes, beats him to the spot, beats him to the space, and able to usher the ball out. That's just so sloppy from Torres. You just came into the game, and now your team...
Holstad kicks it out wide. Quizera a chance. Quizera whistles it across the face of goal.
It's just, it is so sloppy. It's disheartening almost, right? Those are things that, you know, I've used unforced errors. That's a term you hear in tennis all the time, right? Legion FC is beating themselves in a lot of ways, and Rhode Island is just waiting for them to make the mistake.
Ball over the top collected by Vegas. He'll wait to pick it up. Thomas comes to greet him. It's been a frustrating night for the home side. Frustrations began shortly after they went down a goal. They continued after they went down a man. Rhode Island here have enjoyed over 70% of the ball in this second half. 1-0 our score. CBS Sports Golazo and locally here on My 68. Less than 20 minutes to play tonight here at Protective Stadium. These two teams came into the night looking for their second USL Championship wins. Interplay with an identical 1-3-3 record. Cano Smith, the former Birmingham assistant, now the head man of Rhode Island, trying to take his team to Birmingham and come away with 3 points for the second straight campaign. They're in the driver's seat right now. Sanchez picks up his head. Worked by Kavita. He won it once and a second time. All the way out to the midway stripe for another Rhode Island throw. It looks like the visitors are prepping their second change of the evening. As Grant Stoneman has grabbed his shirts. And we'll see if they go ahead and make that change, and it looks like they will. Mabika is hobbling a little bit, and it looks like Stoneman's going to be the change for him, and it will. Grant Stoneman, the 29-year-old, now in his 6th USL Championship season. Starting his career in USL League One with Lansing, then 4 seasons. San Diego, now here in his 2nd season with Rhode Island. He comes on, Mabika gives away after his first start of the year. Center back for center back change for Rhode Island. Speaking of center backs, Nodarse. It's that long. Fuson trying to hold it up. Torres couldn't take it off him. Quizera. His pass just deflected by Turnbull.
See, I was going to say, there's a tug on the shirt right there, and how you let that go. I pointed it out anyway, but still, he needs to be consistent.
Free kick given. Birmingham wastes no time putting it back into play. Birmingham fans, don't forget you can stay up to date on all the latest Legion FC news by following at BHM Legion on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and downloading the Legion FC app today. Legion FC app available in the App Store and Google Play, and at BHM Legion, your home for all things Birmingham Legion FC. Legion at home here tonight. Got another home contest coming up on the weekend. When Detroit City visits the Magic City Sunday, May 18th. That game kicks off at 4 o'clock Central Time Your tickets to that match today at bhmlegion.com/tickets. Match can be seen on My 68. You can always follow along at BHM Legion on X for live match updates. Maxi Rodriguez with space. Good defending from Hamoda, who was shoulder to shoulder with Fuson. Approaching the final quarter hour of the night here in the Magic City. Birmingham Legion in need of a little bit of late game magic. Down a goal, down a man. As they try to rescue something. What has been a frustrating night at the office so far. Rhode Island, meanwhile, trying to take 3 big points with them back on the next flight to the Sunshine State.
It's been 15 minutes since Legion FC have had even attempted a shot. I can see if I'm Mark Briggs, around this time he brought on Preston Tabor-Ataka, who changes the game a little bit with his vertical ability and his pace. He's an individual type player who can create for himself.
Rolled down the line by Turnbull. Damas couldn't quite get there, but it was touched out by Nodarse. It'll be a Birmingham throw near that corner flag, taken quickly. Martinez leaves it for Pasher. Chops it back for Turnbull. Turnbull's serve gets to Damas. Trejo on the turn, couldn't quite squeeze off a shot. Hope Gund altered him just enough.
That's exactly where you want Turnbull to get the ball and have an opportunity to whip it in. Damas does a great job of bringing that ball down. It just squeaks by, ends up on Trejo's foot, and they don't get a shot away. But again, that's a little bit more promising from Legion FC. You've got to get Turnbull in those areas. And again, he's calling for the ball off screen. You actually see him at the very top of your screen. There's that ball right there. Boom. Now he can go at, and that's poor from him. He needs to be able to judge the flight of that ball and be able to take that down. That's just something technical that has gone wrong again in this game for Legion FC.
Birmingham is prepping another change. Preston Tabor-Ataka looks like he is going to come on here in just a moment. And it looks like he will be joined by another gold jersey, Sebastian Tregarthen. Surprised Birmingham didn't get an opportunity to make the changes there. They'll have to wait for the next stoppage of play. Van Oekel collects. As the Legion try to build again. Fans of the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings.
Again, the defensive organization from Rhode Island right now is incredible. Look at that. 3 players right on top of Enzo Martinez. We give the ball away again. Fortunately, they're not able to break, but, you know, still, it's...
Rodriguez does get it to Quizera. Quizera edge of the area. Hounded by Kavita, and Kavita bothers him enough to where that ball goes out of play. Now Birmingham will make a second double change. Preston Tabor-Ataka on, Ronaldo Damas off.
Yeah, frustrating night from Damas. Of no fault of his own. He never got any service apart from just now. It's a tough to be a center forward in a game like this.
Another change, Sebastian Tregarthen, the rookie and 2-time NAIA All-American, and also a USL League Two Team of the Year honoree, is on for Danny Trejo. Meanwhile, Rhode Island is going to use this window to make changes too. Former Legionnaire Zach Aravo is coming on to replace Maxi Rodriguez. And also, Taimo Okiyoshi is going to come on and replace Joe Brito. So 4 subs in all here in this window. As both sides dig deeper into their 18s as we close out the final dozen-plus minutes of the night.
And also number 21, Sebastian Tregarthen.
Preston Tabor-Ataka and Sebastian Tregarthen trying to give Birmingham some fresh legs in the attacking half. Rhode Island trying to see out this contest. nursing a 1-goal advantage as they have been since the 14th minute. Vegas clears that away from a charging Preston Tabor Itaka, and Hamoda, no nonsense with his clearance into the seats. Is there a big moment still to come? These final 11 plus minutes tonight. It's been a rather ho-hum second half to this point. Stoneman clears it away. He's able to find Fuson. Holstad has blue shirts pushing forward. Kiyoshi put his hand up. He gets his first touches since coming on. Japanese midfielder in his first season with Rhode Island. With a storied college career, won a JUCO national title at Salt Lake Community College, then went to the D1 ranks at Marshall. Captained the Marshall team that went all the way to the national title game just this past fall before falling to Vermont in the College Cup final. 5th straight appearance off the bench for Okiyoshi. Zach Yarivo, the other change for Rhode Island. Spent a lot of time here in Birmingham. 79 appearances across all competitions for Zach Yarivo as a member of the Legion from 2019 to 2022. Here is Yarivo now. First touch on points to Shapiro Thompson.
If I remember correctly, last year Yarivo scored, what, 2 goals?
2 goals in the second half that turned a 1-1 game into a 3-1 Rhode Island victory. A bit lower scoring affair tonight. Rhode Island leads by just that singular goal. Radique was setting up Maxi Rodriguez early in the first half. That's all Rhode Island has needed to this point. Been able to put their foot on the ball in this second half. Had some scoring opportunities that the Legion have turned away, some by a matter of inches. Legion have kept this game within their grasp late. How much do they have left in the tank, having had to play 45 minutes by the end of the night down a man? Yarivo.
I mean, you can just see Rhode Island is just picking this team apart currently with just a number of passes that they're making, and they're being patient, and they're technically very sound. A little 1-2 there.
Sanchez got the serve away. Yarivo tried to flick it along. Eric couldn't quite get there in time.
I'd be curious the number of passes that were a part of that movement just now. That ultimately ended with Sanchez crossing that ball in for his teammate into a danger area. But again,
last time out for Rhode Island against Monterey Bay, they set a new season high in total passes attempted. They might eclipse that here tonight. Approaching 500 passes total as a team. Still 8+ minutes to go, plus a little bit of stoppage time to close the night. Kiyoshi content to put his foot on the ball along with Rio Hope Gund. Zera. His pass deflected by Misamoda. Moritaka couldn't beat Okiyoshi to that. Here's Quizera on the run. Hamoda's positioning had to be perfect, and it was, and he wins Birmingham a free kick. The other Birmingham center back, Fanwa Kavita, took a moment to stretch out his calf. He might be cramping just a little bit.
So now it's something you want to see if you're Mark Briggs. You're already short AJ Patterson. You've already subbed off Jake Roof. I'm not sure what other options you would have right now to bring on as a center back that you would trust in a situation like this.
Birmingham does have one more change that they could potentially make as Trey Garthen tracks this down over the top. Sanchez gets the last touch in. It'll be a Birmingham throw. Turnbull couldn't turn with it in a crowd. Quizera able to connect with Yarivo, and he gets it right back. Quizera on the run, has nobody in support for now as he go for goal. against Kavita. Quizera stopped by Van Oekel. Zara opted to have a go. Matt Van Oekel turned him away. Another big stop for MVO in this second half. Time working against the home side, but they do have their foot back on the ball. Turnbull, one of the second half substitutes. Right back to the feet of Fanwa Kavita.
The difference in what Rhode Island have been able to do is they can play slowly, right? They don't have to show a lot of urgency. They have 3 points in the bag. But Legion FC need to show more urgency. They need to present themselves as they want to score. And right now, I don't get that sense from them right now. And when they have the ball, they're not progressing forward. They're not moving up. They're making poor passes. And when they get the ball, and now they've got to chase, and now they've got to work to try and get it back. And look at the gaping hole that's in the center of midfield right now. That Holstad was just able to take 40, 50 yards on the dribble with no pressure whatsoever.
Quizera met by Turnbull, edge of the area, forced back. Okiyoshi resets with Holstad. Yusan pushed in the back by Hamoda. Referee let it go. And will continue to let it go. Goal kick. Van Oekel puts it down. Plays it to the captain's armband tonight, Enzo Martinez. Tregarthen trying to turn with it. Does well to hold off Sanchez. Pasher's not going to be able to track that one down in front of Darce.
No, and I don't even think that ball was intended for Pasher. I think it was for Turnbull, and I think Turnbull and Martinez are just on different pages. Turnbull never looked like he was going to be making that run into that space, but Enzo clipped that ball over the top anyway. Again, they're out of sync. They've been technically subpar tonight, and it's not the best look for the first home game for Mark Briggs.
Rhode Island have been road warriors so far to start 2025, looking for another road result here. Showing their advantage. Their foot on the ball again here in the 86th minute.
And they can literally just bleed this game out. It's as simple as that. They don't have to push forward. They don't have to take any chances. To me, right there, that pass from Coque Vegas, while it's a fantastic ball, I see that as an unnecessary risk. Coque Vegas doesn't need to play that ball, right? Of course, you want to try and unlock the defense, maybe get a second goal if you can, if the perfect opportunity presents itself. But play simple, play to your outside backs, play to your center backs, get the ball back, make the simple pass. You have a man advantage and all of this space to play in. And now the referee blows a whistle, but unfortunately for Legion FC, right, that ball that Enzo Martinez just played was a fantastic ball and unlocked Tregarthen, who would have an opportunity to be isolated against Sanchez and go at him 1v1. But instead now, it's just a big, long diagonal ball that Tregarthen goes up and tries to win and doesn't. And now Darce just simply pays it back to Vegas. And again, Rhode Island have the ball. And so little things are just not adding up for Legion FC tonight. And all the little things are adding up for Rhode Island.
Tregarthen able to get it out wide to Turnbull. Torres. Back to the feet of Turnbull, who couldn't beat Sanchez.
It's a great tackle.
Sanchez has had a splendid night tonight.
And they do a great job of playing out of that pressure. We talked earlier about having a lot of players on something the size of a postage stamp, and that's why you do those drills. Right there, you had 6, 7, 8 guys from each team in total who were standing there, and you have to find the little triangles, you have to find the passes in order to clear the space, and they do that, and they're able to get out the other side.
So Martinez pushed from behind by Stoneman. So a free kick conceded and a chance for Birmingham to push bodies forward now. Free kick brought to you by Birmingham Freightliner. Tyler Pasher quickly put it down, and almost everybody in a gold shirt forward here with the exception of Moses Mensah and Roman Torres.
But again, you've got your Legion FC, you're down a man. They are not sending they're not leaving body up front. They have one man in the wall. So now you have 3v1 if they get on a counterattack, right? Put an extra man in the box.
Kavita couldn't quite get to that ball at the back post.
And again, that's just, it's wasteful, right? You're down a man. That service has to be pinpointed. It has to be good. It has to at least give you a chance. It cannot be hit out of bounds.
Vegas is going to wait to put this down. His favorite piece of this turf here. As the clock continues to bleed away. Kavita got ahead to it. Tabor Itaka got a piece of that, and that's going to spin and stay in play. Good hustle from Moses Mensah to track it down. Stoneman tried to bring it down. Tabor Itaka almost took it off him, but lost his footing. Birmingham wanted a foul there. Tabor Itaka not going to get one. As we enter the 90th minute of the night. Wizera plays it through. Holstad just a turn towards the corner flag.
It's about time to start just going to the corner. Again, we're in the 90th minute, approaching stoppage time. I wouldn't expect more than 2 or 3 minutes.
Ogiyoshi taken off in, and it was last played off of him by Pasher. So it'll be a Birmingham throw, and word from down below we're getting is 3 minutes. Stoppage time coming to close the night. We'll wait for confirmation from our fourth official. It is confirmed. 3 minutes of stoppage time to close the night, brought to you by UAB Medicine. So just a little bit more time for Birmingham to try to find a late equalizer. Just a little bit more time for Rhode Island to try to salt away another 3-point performance on the road.
Again, that ball went out. Now it's already been 10 seconds. 15. Now he decides to push it forward. There we're 20. Closing in on 25. 30 seconds now. You think about that, right? You just lost a 1/6 of stoppage time because the ball went out for a goal kick.
Zara called for the foul. Nudge there on Turnbull, and that ball in the air. Free kick for the Legion. Turnbull needs a ball, and he's going to find one. Hasn't been the prettiest of halves. Hasn't been the prettiest of games tonight. Rhode Island won't care about how pretty it was or wasn't. They would love 3 points on the road here. Birmingham have something to say about that down the stretch. Tabor Itaka couldn't get his foot around that cross. We're already halfway through our minimum of 3 added minutes. Vegas once again is going to send everybody in a blue shirt forward. It's been a fast and furious stretch of matches here for Rhode Island between USL Jägermeister Cup, US Open Cup, and the work they've had to do in the USL Championship play. They were the team coming in tonight on short rest. They've been able to play the team with the man advantage the entirety of this second half. Now trying to see out the final seconds of the night. Tabor Itaka heads it down. Pasher was late arriving. Hope Gunn's clearance unconvincing. Mensah, Pasher. Good interplay from those two. Mensah, a serve. Almost got to Tabor Itaka. No, Darcy had to get ahead to it to keep it away from him.
Got about 10 seconds left.
So throw for the Legion. Turnbull nudging everybody forward. Looks like he's going to try to take this throw long. We'll leave it for Roman Torres, who will do the honors of a long throw. Everybody in a gold shirt in and around the 18. What could be the final play of the night. Torres' throw headed back his direction. And Quizera takes it off him. Quizera sprinting back the other direction. Torres yanks him down. He'll take the yellow card. But that might be the final moments of the night, and it is. Full-time whistle blows. Rhode Island come on the road to Birmingham and take all 3 points for the second consecutive campaign at a 1-0 final.
It's now 3 games for Conno Smith against Birmingham Legion FC and 3 wins for Conno Smith against Birmingham Legion FC.
An early goal from Maxi Rodriguez stands up for the visitors. Frustrating night for the home side. Their life was made even tougher after the first half red card meant they were playing down a man much of the night. In the end, Rhode Island FC pick up their second USL Championship victory. 1-0 our final score here at Protective Stadium. We'll be right back to wrap it up when we return.
What are you doing?
I'm installing fiber optic cables.
Why?
Fix problems before they happen.
Why?
Keep the power on.
Why?
So your nightlight can keep the monsters away.
There are monsters?
No, wait.
It's time to hammer down. Season tickets on sale now.
Both goalkeepers having a conversation after 90 minutes here on the turf down at Protective Stadium. Matt Van Oekel made a couple of monster stops tonight. Relatively stress-free game for Koke Vegas, his Rhode Island FC, along with former Legionnaire Zachary Aravo. Visitors come away with all 3 points tonight. 1-0 our final score here at Protective Stadium this evening. Blake Gardner, Morgan Copes back here our press box at Protective Stadium to wrap things up. Morgan, as we look at our final stats on the night, of course, everything favoring Rhode Island in large part because they had a man advantage for so long. But credit Conno Smith and company. That early goal put them in front early, and they were in control really from the jump.
Yeah, they really were. And once Mikkel Hatton got sent off, they knew that they could put their foot on the ball and coast and not push the pace and control the tempo of this game. And they did. Holstad and Shapiro Thompson did a fantastic job of controlling the pace of this game and the tempo.
Second win of the year for Rhode Island FC. That's now 9 points collected for them from their first 8 contests. Moves them up to 6th in the Eastern Conference going into the weekend. Which, speaking of the weekend, Rhode Island right back at it coming up this weekend. On the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Morgan, will see if this Rhode Island side have anything left in the tank for one final game in this flurry of stretch.
Yeah, it's another game again against a team that's near them, near the bottom of the Eastern Conference table. They'll be looking forward to this, especially after getting 3 points tonight.
See if they can build on that performance before a stretch of home games coming up late May and into June. Meanwhile, for the Legion, Morgan, maybe it's a good thing. No time to think about this one. You've got to prep for a Detroit City club coming in on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's a Detroit City club that you've never beaten in Birmingham, Alabama. So you only have one win against them, and that's in Detroit. So Detroit's in a very similar capacity to Rhode Island. if they get ahead, they will just kill the game and just make it as choppy as they can.
Detroit City has lost just one contest through their first 9 so far this 2025 campaign. They will come down to Protective Stadium and take on Birmingham Legion FC coming up this Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock Central Time, the kickoff for that. BHMLegion.com/tickets for your way into that game. Fans down on the turf here at Protective Stadium, as is tradition in the Magic City in Birmingham, Alabama. But a tough night for the home fans and the home side, as Rhode Island FC came on the road on a rainy evening here at Protective Stadium and jumped in front less than a quarter hour in tonight, despite the heroics of Matt Van Okel and Fanuel Kavita, who kept us a 1-goal game early in the second half with that spectacular double save and then a third on top of it. Red card there from Sam McElhatton proved to be awfully costly for the home side. The visitors, Rhode Island FC, pick up all 3 points tonight. 1-0 our final score. For Morgan Copes, on behalf of our entire crew, I'm Blake Gardner saying thanks for watching our coverage of the USL Championship tonight on CBS Sports Galanzo. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. We'll be right back for another edition of USL Championship Soccer.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.